Hello and welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Sherry Ann. And we have a special guest today, Miss Lauren.
Hi, I'm Lauren Huffmaster.
And we're just going to start with our pest check-in. So Sherry Ann, do you want to start?
Sure. So physically, I am at 8.75, emotionally 8.8, spirit 9, and hope 9.3, and my word is sunshine. How about you, Lauren?
Physically, I'm about a 5.1. Emotionally, I am about a 7.8. Spiritually, I think I'm an 8.8, and hope I'm a 9. And my word today is recovery.
Thank you.
Okay, and physically I am an 8.5, emotionally an 8.5, spiritually an 8.25, and hope is an 8.75, and my word is coming together.
All right. So we have Lauren here today with us because last week we did a special workshop for metastatic cancer individuals or thrivers. I love the word thrivers. And I just wanted to kind of recap what we experienced and where we really want to take people forward to. So let's just kind of start with your takeaway from that particular values workshop, Lauren.
Yeah, I really loved I always love gathering with other metastatic women. I think we have a unique perspective. And so I really enjoyed sitting and hearing the hearts and the questions of the women who came. It's so important. And I think that for the metastatic experience, sometimes it's hard to remember what your value is because you are constantly in treatment, constantly changing. And even if you put your value on one thing one day, the next day you could be feel completely different. And so really grounding them into what they value, what's important to them, what is unshakable, what cancer can't touch. That to me was really a wonderful gift to give them, and then remind them that from that can grow their value, and that again cannot be touched, cannot be shaken by cancer. And so for me, that was just a really wonderful moment to offer that gift of perspective to the women who gathered.
Yeah, I think some of the stories that they shared were not only like revealing, open, and heartfelt, but I think it was a surprise for them also that here they are on this journey and not everybody knew what their number one value was. And so I'm really curious. So that was really exciting for me. But I'm curious for you. I know today is recovery, as was yesterday. How has values played in your particular values played into you and recovery?
Yeah, so for me, my values really feed my purpose, and those things go hand in hand to give me strength and give me direction and give me a sense of the why. Why is it all worth it? Why do I go through? I'm this week is my 1 year anniversary of being on chemo. So I've been in this one chemo treatment for a year. And why do you keep going? Why don't you just give up and, quit? Because it is so hard. And to me, partnering my values, and then letting from that my purpose and letting those two things coincide really just focuses me. There's nothing else in my mind. I know I have to go through treatment in order to get to that purpose. I have to go through all the difficulties in order to live out what I want to live. And from the very beginning of my diagnosis, it's been about how do I ensure that cancer doesn't touch who I truly am, making sure I live honorably for my children, that I don't let cancer twist me or contort me. And even though I lose my hair or whatever parts of my body, that I am true to who I am. right now I'm thinking of like Cinderella. Like she had to live through all these terrible things, people saying bad things about her, working, her whole identity shifted. But if she hadn't stayed true to herself, then in the end, she wouldn't have been beautiful and like been able to emerge from the dust and the ashes, right? And that's the way I feel like I don't want to submit my identity to the disease. And so those purpose and my values really are what keep me going.
And so, Lauren, what's your number one value?
I think my number one value is pursuit of the divine. That is really, really important to me. That's what really is my foundation of life. And then I have beauty. I have, of course, connection, deep, meaningful connections is important to me. And then vision. I'm a vision person. I want to see down the road and I want to know where I'm running to, and so I can get there as fast as possible. So for me, that pursuit of the divine creates the foundation for everything else that grows from me.
Oh, I love that. Alicia, what are your values?
My values, I know my number one value is creativity. And I know there's love and freedom and connection in there as well. Um, I think that whenever anyone lives by their values, exactly as you said, Lauren, like I love the part where you said that it's important that cancer doesn't touch you. Like there's so many parts of you that cancer doesn't touch. And so to live those every day and honor them and like hold them is so, so, so important, especially, when you're metastatic and you're continuing on that journey. Because at the end of the day, it's about you at your core and what you're really able to achieve with those values. And I think it's such a beautiful perspective to have too, because it's easy to get lost in um, this experience of cancer and everything that you get with it.
Definitely when
So,
you're living metastatic, you're just constantly releasing parts of your identity. Like there's never a time where you're not releasing something, whether it's your strength, your schedule, your time, your physical identity, you're constantly letting things go. And they're out of your control. It's not something you
mhm.
get to choose. And so to to be in your mind like my identity is slipping away, it is true, parts of your identity will slip away, but that's why it's so important to have these golden nuggets, these treasures deep inside of you that cannot get slipped away, they cannot get ripped out of your hands, there's nothing that could take them away from you. And I think that's the difference between the metastatic experience and a typical cancering experience, because the process of letting go never ends. You know that there will only be more to release. And for me, what I love to think of is more of a purification. I will release things like my hair or my physical strength, but that just means that the who I really am becomes more intense all the time, right? It's like the only pieces left of me are going to be the best parts of me, and they're going to be more intense than anything else. There's nothing else to distract me, or just, when you see me, you're not going to be able to see anything else but that intensity, that purification of who I truly am deep down inside. And so the metastatic experience is a challenging experience for sure, but knowing our values and then walking that out, finding that next step, what do you do with them? That's where you find your strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
almost like when you like lose a sense and so your other senses get heightened, and so you continue to make sure that those senses get heightened and expressed and shared, and you really hold on to them and let them guide you.
I love what Lauren was saying, because as you're talking and you've got your mural behind you and there's this big sun back there just illuminating everything, and that's what it feels like is happening. It's like more of the beauty of you is illuminating out. It doesn't mean that you don't get to keep on living. Of course you do, but it's like this part becomes so much more prevalent, and so the beauty of you comes out so much more than what we're conditioned in today's society of, oh, this is how I look, this is how my body looks. It's like that becomes less and less important. It's that essence of really who you are and what you bring to this world.
Something I'm like I want to know more about too is how you give yourself grace. I think I mean, you're clearly so strong and you really know like what's important to you. Your values are strong and you have this really stable grounding. But in the metastatic experience, like you said, like you have to release a lot of things. How do you give yourself such grace to let those things happen instead of feeling like you have to warrior up against them?
Yeah, I mean, it is a give and take. It's a constant flow, right? So for the last few days, I've been recovering from chemo. And so what I've done to build my values into that scene when I can't get off the couch or I can't make dinner for my family is I've started painting and drawing and watercoloring so I can bring beauty in. And so even if my one painting takes all day, at least I know I've created something beautiful and I've allowed myself to experience beauty and reflection during that time. And so but I never drew beforehand. And so I think it is this flow, not thinking of life as like this and that, like these like solid steps forward. It's more of this constant flow of coming and going. There might be a day when the treatments make my eyesight not good and I can't draw. There's going to be a constant flow, but knowing that the end of one thing is not the end, right? That there's going to be a flow of something else is going to come into my life and I'll find beauty or I'll just focus on pursuing the divine or whatever it is that I need in those moments. Just let that flow into me and release that into the world around me and hope that that is something my children can pick up, can embrace, can know who I am. Even if all the tasks of a mom are not accessible to me, they can still remember what was important to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear a lot of like remaining flexible with what comes into your life and still being able to have what you want and things that matter to you the most. I love that you are talking about your kids, and it reminds me of like when I was a kid and Sherry Ann was sick, and it was like, yes, mom's sick. She's not able to, like you said, cook us dinner or clean up after me or anything like that. But there's so many things that we did get to do together that still remain with me, like the creative stuff. I think that's actually a big part of why my values are, or my number one value is creativity, because I remember painting and drawing and my mom teaching me how to sew and things like that, that I got to still hold on to those memories with her.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been sewing all day today as well. So my daughter and I have been like figuring out making sure she knew how to run the sewing machine, and there are also things you just have to let go. So this weekend, my daughter, we let my kids have a 13-year-old adventure, and my daughter wanted to climb Half Dome, and I cannot do that right now. And my husband took her, and like also just releasing even those you love to go and do the things that they love and not putting guilt there. Sometimes it's hard to not feel like you're getting left out or left behind. But to truly love someone is to let them move forward and to let them build on top of what you've established for them. And so part of your identity is just the encouragement, that the continuation of lifting them forward, even when you can't follow. And I think that it's a change of perspective. It's not you leading the way for your family or your friends or whatever. It's you just ensuring that they have a way forward, right? And even if you're behind, you allow them that grace, that opportunity, that actual gift of love, that they are more important, they can continue. And there's times when their family's going to stay behind and be at my side on the couch and all of that, but it's just this constant reevaluation. I think sometimes we get in a mode where we're going to fight for something like, this is really important to me, this is really important to me. But through the classes, at Cancer Journey Institute, I realized, like, why is this important to me? Why is this really important? Because is it important that we do this together, or is there a deeper value here that I can honor without having to control the outcome, right? And so I think that along my process, I've had to really look at the why. Why is this important to me? How can this be honored, even if I can't show up in all the ways that I thought I was going to show up?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what you speak to just says so much about, I mean, this feels like a very tender time. I feel tenderness from you, but an abundance of love. Like, I just, I could feel this. You love what's here. You love this present moment, and you are going to give your all to that. And I also see not just your values, but also the culmination of who you are. You speak about identity, and I think that's what we're really offering with this upcoming Beyond Cancer program that kind of flowed from the values workshop. Is Lauren's not only her values, big part of who you are, but you're also your talents that become strengths as you focus on them, and they come naturally. It's not the heavy lifting of Lauren, it's just the being of Lauren. And so you get to be able to flow. I mean, it just works so much with flow. It's like, what do I do? You don't have to do, you just get to be Lauren in her most natural, authentic, powerful self. And then having you really get clear on your purpose essence, that you know your grace statement, your purpose, how whatever we wanted to call it, just kind of holds everything up of you and allows you to do the work that you're meant to do, the work that you're doing now, in the way that you're talking about, the flow, the giving everyone permission to have what they want. Just I mean, the joy of seeing the pictures of your daughter and your husband at the top of Half Dome, and you're here celebrating them. Is the gift that you're giving them is
Yeah, absolutely.
outstanding.
I just
Yeah,
like
and
love that perspective, by the way. Like your perspective on love when you were talking about like how you have to like let them go and do that and you still get to be a part of it and lift them up. Like, oh, that just like makes my heart skip a beat.
I think that because you are constantly releasing identity, it's easy to release all of yourself. And I heard that some in our conversations when we were having the group last week, is that sometimes you feel out of control. You've let go of so much, you don't know what's left of you. And we reminded them through this pulling out of their values, but that is a constant thing. Again, it's a constant flow when you're in metastatic like a state. You have to constant release, but you're not releasing your identity. And it's hard because we put our identity in the fact that we go to the gym and run 3 miles, and that we can pick the kids up and take them to school and go to work and all these things. And our identity feels like it's there. But when those things just slip away one after the other, it's easy to feel like we've been lost, that we're completely gone. We've sort of been wiped away at the whim of something out of our control. And that's just not the case. And I just want, like, in the future classes, to remind people, like, remember who you are, remember your values. And then, like you said, combine that not with your physical strength. There's so many different kinds of strength that we don't look for until our physical strength is gone, right? But there's so many other kinds of strength that we can combine with our values and continue to be us, continue to live, and continue to have an identity. And I just can't, like, overstate this sense of always releasing your identity. It's just wiping away one after the other. But I, again, just want to restate that it's almost like these are the outer layers, and you're, even though it's being wiped away, you're just getting to the true essence of who you are, the true person that was white, that was covered up by all these veils of things that were in the world. But now it's just us left, just the true person. And so this experience of releasing identity and discovering it at the same time,
Hmm.
it's difficult, but it is a treasure. It is difficult, but it is a treasure. And I just want to encourage anyone who's metastatic to don't give up on yourself, right? You are probably someone who gave and served, and now you don't know how to reclaim who you are when you're having to let other people serve you. But you are there, you're valuable. We want to know you, we want to experience you. The world needs you. And so don't give up on your identity.
Oh, that's such a great call to action. It's like, if you want to step into who you really are, the identity that you don't lose, that you can even have more of, like Lauren is showing us right now. Please join us at the Beyond Cancer program. It starts next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And to find out more, please go to www.thecancerjourney.com and we'd love to have you. But if you want to talk to someone beforehand, you can by just filling out one of the contact forms on our website, or send a message to info@thecancerjourney.com, and we'll get right back to you, and we'll schedule a call, a one-on-one, no commitment, no hassle, but just to be able to talk to somebody about where you are and what's possible. Oh, I think that we need to close up right now. Alicia, I'll let you do that.
Do you want me to start with the takeaway?
Yes, please. Take away in a word.
Okay. My takeaway is I really love when you use the word reclaim, Lauren, and reclaiming your identity and having that flow of, you know, the only thing that is 100% certain is that things will change. And so to remain open to that is the only way to really move forward really authentically. And my word is trust.
Beautiful. Lauren, a takeaway in a word?
I think my word will be beauty, because it is a beautiful process. And I think that's my takeaway as I talk about it, as I sort of stir up my own emotions about the experience of it. I see sort of an unfurling almost of a seed or a flower. And even though change is difficult and forced, sometimes it feels forced upon us, it is truly beautiful. And so my takeaway is just the beauty of the process of change and re-identifying your identity.
Mm. My takeaway is cancer cannot take away the real you, the authentic, real, powerful you. They can take away so many things, as Lauren said, but you still have you, and it can grow. It doesn't have to diminish. And my word is grow. Like, there's so much more to have. Let's have it all. Why not? We've got this one life. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much again, Lauren, for joining us today. We'll be back next week with new episodes. They drop every Friday.
Thanks for being here. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now.